All right, after some musical vehicles, got the truck finally up front. And I go ahead and start diagnosing the problem with it. I was told it's a water pump leak, and I went ahead and started adding water, and right away, you can see right down there, it's leaking. Now, I went ahead and looked around my mirror some in the light, and I can't quite see the exact spot it's leaking. Here, add some more water real quick. Oops, I just made a mess. There she goes. But it does appear to be near the water pump mounting bracket, which you can't see in all that mess because of this, big air conditioned pump and bracket and such, the idler pulley. Now, I got a good look at the front block frost plug or freeze plug, and that's dry. So I'm pretty sure the water pump is a good candidate. I mean, it could be a blown head gasket. It doesn't look like the intake, but until I get all this mess off, we won't see. Also, when you start this truck up, there would be a bit of a squealing and high-pitched noise or whatever grinding noise sometimes. And I went ahead and pulled the belt, and I believe that's the noise. So fingers crossed that's the only issue. It's not the transmission, like throw-out bearing, whatever, pilot bearing, or even the bearings of the engine and such. So I guess I'll get to start tearing apart the front of this, because I want to go ahead and put that underdrive pulley on the crank when I have it all apart anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the radiator, just totally delete the AC, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't work, and if it does, I'm not gonna use it. I'm a windows down kind of guy, and I got that back glass I'm going to put in. Also, I did notice this just a moment ago. You check out this little light down on there. It's going to be hard to see. Now when I open the door, we got a color changing, I guess, under dash lights. So that's another interesting find with this truck. Anyways, I better get to tearing this sucker apart before I lose the light. Ta-da! And just like that, I have another incapacitated vehicle. Now, I went ahead and removed the whole AC bracket and pump, which is right over there, because the bolts on it were looking pretty, I don't know, sketchy, and I was going to round one off, so I'm going to probably have to cut them off. And I forgot to mention earlier, I already have a delete pulley that was on buck, so that's, quick fix, throw that in there, because we know that pump is wasted anyway. I mean, I'm also glad I took it apart, because this idler pulley, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. And I can't do it one-handed anyway. This idler pulley sucks. It sounds very gritty and bad. That other idler pulley sounds good, but if they're cheap enough, I'll probably just put two new ones on there anyway. Now, before the sky opens up and starts to pour on me, which is going to rain all day tomorrow, so I won't get much done then, let's go ahead and get a shot of this so we can confirm. And it's looking pretty wet back there, so I'm thinking that's going to be it. So let me grab my water here. We'll fill her up to pour right back out. Oh, doing good this time. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And, okay, she's dripping. A little more, might as well. It's going to rain all day tomorrow anyway. Set that down. Stay. Grab my mirror and see what we can see. Yep, water pump leak confirmed. I wonder what that is. And it's some mystery washer. So, easy fix. Good news. Well, a couple easy fixes, delete that, patch that up. While we're at it, we'll delete the rest of the AC stuff. Get that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this radiator, get the AC condenser out, which is going to make putting the, the underdrive pulley and crank pulley on much easier. So, pull the water pump, do the crank pulley, so on. But that'll be after tomorrow, because it's going to rain all day tomorrow. Do I got a bunch of junk in my face? No, just my goatee. Sorry, the lighting is poor. But before I go, actually, almost forgot. Quick tip. TV trays are cheap and good tool little portable carts. I'm gonna just set it aside in my garage, which is of course destroyed as always. So there's a good tip. Oh, and I found this pen, free pen. So whoever did that water pump, which it looks newer, they did a poor job. And this pen's nice and warped from the heat of the radiator. So maybe I'll just leave that there. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna leave it there. Anyways, I'm rambling on about this basic maintenance job. So see you when it's done raining. Record. All right, one rainy day later and we're back at it. But before I get too deep into this project, I gotta look into one more thing. And that is the frame, because the other day I noticed right over here, you get the right angle, you can see some welding right here. There's been a plate added to the side of the frame, as well as over there. So, not sure what that's about. I don't see too much rot right there, but I suspect it's potentially an accident. 'Cause I bet it got, crunched on this one side a little, and they repaired the frame. Because of course, the steering box attaches right there, so they, something you need. But that being said, I need to crawl around all under this truck and actually confirm it's not all rot. There's not a real bad spot. It's worth putting, the lowering kit and more parts onto. Otherwise, this would just be maybe a, if it's not too bad, it'd just be a fix and flip. Obviously, if it's super bad, it would be a part out. But, we won't know until I crawl into there. And honestly, I should have done it by now, but, bad weather and other, family matters, I just didn't have time. So let's get to that. Well, upon closer inspection, it does appear to be possibly rust repair. You can see right here in this hole, there's some weak metal in there that just bends and flexes. It's rotted. So, I don't know about that. And you can see right here, this is not the best welding. It appears they cut a section of frame off, like maybe another truck, and just overlapped and welded it on. I still haven't looked at the other side, so I don't know. I think I would at least have to grind this down and do some better welding there. Well, we'll keep looking. Yeah, also back here, not so hot. Right there. Let's look at the other side. Okie dokie. Here on the other side, we can see more of the same. Looks like they just plated over it and painted it. And you can see up here, you see that notch right there? It does look like they just cut a section off of a good frame and patched over the damaged, rusted or whatever frame. And again, look at those welds. Definitely not hot enough. I mean, they're just didn't get good penetration. I mean, it is sandwiched on there with the bolts and the, whatever. So I guess the welds are secondary. Still, I'd like to see how bad it was under there, but I can't really until I go ahead and change the front bumper, which I bought a new bumper for this, so I'm going to change it to a non-chrome bumper, but that'll be a little bit, and I'll definitely take a look inside the frame wheel to see how bad it is in there. Oh, and right here, I did notice this. It's going to be hard to show. Let me see if I can do this. That's not metal. They just like silicone the crack. I guess at least they sealed it or whatever, but of course I'll have to wire wheel grind that mess up before I try and re-weld it better, if that's what I do. What do you do? And the underside inspection continues. Here, check out this nice window in the backing plate. That's interesting. Not that it's a big deal. I don't care about backing plates. I often remove them. But I did notice, I don't know if this is the transmission's been swapped, because I mean, from my reading, 95 was the internal slave, and this looks like an external. But again, I'm not a manual transmission expert, or I don't really know much about these transmissions, period. But it may have been swapped out for a newer whatever, which I've heard, some of these are the NV 3500, and some of them are technically the early ones of the Get Rag, which has the external, or I don't know. Anyways, it does appear to have been, this connector's off over here, or bracket, I mean. So it's been messed with. It's not, stock. But, I mean, this truck's got so many miles on it, I wouldn't expect it to be original for a lot of things. I mean, it might not even be the original motor, for all I know. Missing a manifold bolt. Not a big deal. Doesn't appear to be leaking. Well, I already looked at the other side, and that cab mount is, of course, rotted through. But, I got other trucks, so I can chop one of those off, the whole mount maybe, or put a patch plate on it. I'll fix it some point later for the other side, because I hate how the cab sags. It's annoying. But so far, frame appears to be sturdy enough, and I mean, it's not perfect, but other than that front spot, we'll continue on the inspection. Welcome to the rear of the truck. And boy, is she crusty. Yeah, that's probably an original shock. Awesome. Yep. So, anyways, I poked and prodded all along the important parts of the frame, and I haven't found any holes or anything that feels soft or flexible or that needs to be patched, or that's really bad. I mean, there's obviously a lot of scaly, rusty junk. I mean, if you look over here, that's not attached to nothing. It's rusted off. And then you slide around over here. That's interesting. So yeah, definitely crusty, but I've seen worse. I mean, it appears to be seeping. I'm not sure if it's the gasket or not, just a hole in the cover. It's potentially a hole, because that's how my Sonoma was. The cover itself was just rotted, and I mean, they're cheap, and I've actually already secured a nice aluminum girdle to put on here. But man, whew. I mean, at least it's got a new gas tank. The exhaust is in good enough shape. I mean, there's not perfect. Could use some patching, but I wouldn't say it's great. I mean, I've seen worse. And it's definitely not going to last forever, but good enough for now. I don't know. Anyways, I think I might wrap this up here for now. We'll see. Trying to make a video here. Fetch off. Here's the deal. I've just been wrenching the past few hours, tearing apart some more here and there, kind of just, little by little, not really in a rush, pondering what I want to do. How far do I want to go down this rabbit hole? And here's what I found. I didn't have to pull the lower radiator shroud, but I went ahead and pulled it so I get a little better look. And again, you can see right here, not the best welds. Even over here, just to get around that line, they skipped the area, so they didn't weld because that line was there, which is for the VAP canister, which I could delete, no problem, or move it out of the way and re-weld it. But again, with all this stuff out of there, which I was going to remove the radiator and do the pull, the water pump and pull it, but now that's, while we're here, I already plan to do the bumper later, so pull the bumper. Then it's not too much harder to pull the whole core support, which I plan to change to single headlights, the big rectangles, the big squares, not the rectangles. So I got to tear that apart anyway. not the core support, but just, you know, the whole lights and wiring. So remove all that stuff, and I can get in there and I guess give it a go at doing a better job of repairing, or at least get a better look at it. So I don't know. I wasn't planning on messing with all this, you know. I just wanted to get a, you know, quick fix and get it up and going, but it's never a quick fix. There's always more to do. I mean, it always dominoes, and that's just how it goes. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I plan to, you know, get it running and go, oh, luck runs, but no. If I'm gonna do this, you know, I gotta tear it apart more, try and fix the fix, make it better. I mean, still, also, if I forgot, I gotta get gas in my welder, and I gotta mess with that because I haven't used it in a while, so I gotta redo stuff. So the rabbit hole. So thanks for watching. Wish me luck.